Good.
Oops.
I do that every time. I don't have a clock. Okay, it is 5:32 p.m. on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. I'm calling the meeting to order, and we will start with a roll call. Ms. Ash.
Board President Dr. Amanda Whitmer.
Here.
Board Vice President Tom Jennings.
Here.
Board Member Jeffrey Cheetah.
Here.
Board Member Dr. Betty Lusk.
Here.
Board Member Sarah Alstadall.
Here.
Board Member Maika Velasquez. On her way.
On her way.
Board Member Veronica Miramontes.
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll move on to adopting the agenda. Mr. Altemeyer, are there any proposed changes to the agenda?
No proposed changes.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Move approval of the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Dr. Lusk and a second from Trustee Uchida. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries 6-0. I will now identify closed session topics of discussion. 2A, conference with real property negotiator, Ryan Altemeyer, agency negotiator. Subject property is 2300 Garden Road, Monterey, California, under negotiation, purchase price and terms of sale. 2B, conference with labor negotiator, Dr. Manuel Nunez, California School Employees Association, Monterey Bay Teachers Association, and unrepresented employees. 2C, public employee discipline, dismissal, and release and complaint. 2D, public employee appointment, employment, assistant principal, Monte Vista TK8. 2E, public employee appointment, employment, assistant principal, Olson Elementary School. And 2F, public employee performance evaluation, superintendent's evaluation. Section 3 of the agenda is public comment period for closed session items. This is an opportunity for the public to make comments regarding any closed session items within this board subject matter jurisdiction. When the president recognizes a member of the public for oral comments, such comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. Would anybody like to make a public comment on a closed session item? Seeing no one in person, I'll just take a look real quick on Zoom to see if we have anyone joining us via Zoom. I only see board members online, so I will go ahead and adjourn to closed session. Pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn closed session and reconvene our open session. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we will move now to report from closed session. I'm going to take the liberty of starting us off on this one. I'd like to move to approve the appointment of Tierney Wessel as the assistant principal at Monte Vista TK8 for the 2025-2026 school year.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from President Whitmire and a second from Trustee Velasquez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations.
Thank you and good evening. I'm very honored and deeply grateful for the opportunity to serve as the assistant principal of Monte Vista TK8, a school community that I truly love. Since beginning my career in 2004, I have had the privilege of teaching every grade from kindergarten through 6th. I have gained valuable experiences along the way, and in the spring of 2017, I received my master's in school leadership and my administration credential. Since joining MPUSD in 2015, I have served in many leadership roles, including being a member of the ILT team, academic coach at MLK SOA, and made my transition to Monte Vista TK8 4 years ago. My time at Monte Vista has led to many more leadership opportunities, including serving on the district equity leadership team, PBIS team, and comp trainer. I have valued being a teacher leader throughout my 10 years in MPUSD. This new chapter as assistant principal is one that I will embrace with enthusiasm, commitment, and a deep sense of purpose. Thank you to the Board of Education for your trust, support, and warm welcome into this leadership role. I am excited to continue to serve our Blue Jay students, families, and staff with dedication and heart. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Manny. And now I'll hand it off to Vice President Jennings for the remainder of the report from closed session.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to approve the appointment of Sydney Chote as Assistant Principal for Ion Olson Elementary School for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second?
I have a motion from Vice President Jennings. And a second from Dr. Lusk. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. Come on up.
Good evening, President Whitmire, esteemed trustees, and members of the cabinet. My name is Sydney Choate, and I am honored to stand before you as the new assistant principal of Olson Elementary School. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you for this opportunity and the warm welcome back to the MPUSD community. I previously served as a teacher at MLK SOA, and I loved my time in this community, and I have just been working hard to get back here to be part of it. To the members of the cabinet, thank you for your leadership and your dedication to the success of our students, staff, and schools. I'm truly excited to join a district so deeply committed to educational equity, innovation, and student-centered practices. It's a privilege to begin this new chapter at Olson, and I look forward to serving the families, staff, and community to continue building a joyful and inclusive environment where all students can thrive. Thank you again for this opportunity.
All right, love starting board meetings with appointments. It's always so positive. We will move forward now to public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the Board of Education on matters within the jurisdiction of the board but not on this agenda may do so during public comment period for up to 3 minutes. Each agenda item is limited to 20 minutes except public comment unless the time limit is extended by a vote of the Board of Education. Public comments on specific agenda items are heard under that item. Normally we start with student public comments. I don't see any students in attendance this evening, and I don't think I see anyone online, but if you are a student online and you want to make a public comment, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, I'll move forward to general public comment. Is there, oh, my Zoom just crashed again. Is there anyone who would like to make a general public comment? And while Zoom comes back up, no one? Okay. So seeing none, we will go ahead and close public comment and move forward. Mr. Altemeyer, do we have anyone from public agencies tonight? Okay, then we'll move forward from public agency communications to section 6 of our agenda, which is presentations, recognitions, military liaisons, superintendent report, and upcoming events. Do we have our military liaisons here this evening? Having fun for the summer, good. Love to hear it.
Taking a vacation.
Yes. 6B, superintendent's report and upcoming events. Mr. Altemeyer.
Thank you. I have a brief report for this evening. So the first, we'd like to welcome everybody to our annual Back to School Bash that will be held this weekend, July 26th, from 10 to noon. It's a great event to get families out, to really kind of get everybody back into the swing of school coming here up in the next couple of weeks, so we hope to see everybody there. Another bit of exciting news, Marina High School field ribbon cutting is scheduled for Saturday, August 30th at 10 a.m. That will be coinciding with the first home game in the stadium for football, so that's exciting. We hope to see everybody there as well. It's at 10 a.m. Yes. Okay, and then the last update for this evening, we have a brief video to go over our summer culinary program.
We have 2 work experience programs in MPUSD, one that's funded through the California Department of Education and one that's funded through the Department of Rehabilitation. 5 minutes. And they let us know that they had supplemental funding one summer so that we could run a summer program. And I just had this idea that if we could run a summer program that was kind of a boot camp where students could learn really good vocational skills, that we could do a lot of really good work in a short period of time. So the first time that we did this, we really focused on the pre-vocational aspect, but this time we really wanted to focus on culinary because that was the primary interest of our students that we weren't necessarily able to do during the regular school year. So what we're going to do, you guys, we're going to put the fettuccine in the water. That's the thick one. Our summer funding is designed to serve students between the ages of 16 and 18 who are eligible for special education services or students with disabilities. So during the regular school year, most of our students are students who receive special education services through resource specialist or speech and language programs. It's going to stick together in the water, okay? So make sure you kind of fluff your pasta. This summer, we're focusing on culinary and kitchen skills, but we're also teaching the pre-vocational skills like interviewing and resume writing and workplace safety. So at the end of the program, the students should have finished their food handler certificate, and they'll also be really great at interviewing, resume writing, and all of the other pre-employment skills that students need in order to get the job in the first place. Just remember which one you're going to stick it into, okay? Like that one will be yours specifically. Students are working on making pasta from scratch along with a couple sauces, Alfredo and marinara. And remember, you guys, it's really, really hot in front of the stove from the fire. This is hot. Don't touch right there. Students will have an opportunity to do experiences this summer. Our teachers have created opportunities for them to go visit Jody, the cafeteria there. They're going to be visiting Earthbound Farms and the market that's at Del Monte Center. It's going to be a great opportunity for our students to see how the culinary skills that they're building can be used in the real world setting. This thicker one is going to take longer than this one, okay? Oh look, yours is starting to float in the back. My goal for the students is that at the end of the summer, they will have the kitchen skills, the pre-vocational skills, and all of the other skills that they'll need to enter into competitive integrated employment and get a really good job. and then toss it. That's good, just like that. And then we'll put on your plate, we'll put Parmesan. As long as they're gaining the skills to be able to take home and make a meal for their family or just feel a little bit more comfortable in the kitchen, that would be the overall goal. My family cooks a lot at home, and I mostly don't like cooking because the oil might get on me or some things, so it's kind of a fear of mine. So being here and learning how to cook properly is really helping me out. Just, you guys remember, steam is sometimes a little dangerous, okay? It's very different from what my dad makes, because he adds garlic and salt and pepper, so it's very different in how we made it and everything, so I like it.
Thank you for that. Shout out to the communications team. That was awesome. And yeah, that concludes the report for this evening.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Altmeyer. Good thing I just ate dinner, otherwise I'd be hungry all over again. Okay, moving right along to Section 7 of our agenda, Conference Discussion Action. And we'll start with 7A, discuss and ratify change order number 1 for DMC commercial for the multi-use lower field project at Monterey High School. Measure I, bond expense not to exceed $310,465.64. Mr. Altmeyer.
Thank you. So this change order is for part of the Monterey High School multi-use field project. This is the total cost is $310,465, but this is related to something that we asked for. As part of the overall project, we knew that at some point we were going to have to come back and redo the track. So instead of doing it as a separate project, it made sense while we had the crews out there to mobilize as a lower cost option to redo that track now. And so the change order is for that purpose.
Thank you, Mr. Altmeyer. Any questions or comments from board members on this one? Yeah, Trustee Uchida, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. When was the last time we had some work done at the track there?
We do maintenance on it quite regularly. As far as like the full replacement of the track, it's been, I'd have to go back and take a look at that. But it's been over 5 years. It's been longer than that we've done significant changes to the track at Monterey High School.
And with this new repair, do we have are we guaranteed a life expectancy with proper upkeep and stuff? So.
Yeah, I think proper upkeep and maintenance is the key to this, so that there'll be a process in place like we have similar to the fields where we maintain it and have a system so that we're repairing issues as they come about so they don't compound, repairing cracks, rips, those sorts of things. That happen from natural wear and tear, but we'll have a system in place to make sure that we're getting the proper longevity out of the track.
Were we diligent about repair? Because 5 years doesn't seem like a long time from the last, application.
Yes, I would say that there's only, to answer your question, I think we could have done a better job, I think, in some of the aspects. When I say 5 years, I would say that's when we did kind of the last large maintenance, but that's not when the track was replaced. It's been longer than that. I would say, once again, I have to go back and look at this, but I think it's been at least 10 years since there's been kind of resurfacing of that. But this will actually give us a better quality surface than we've had before, and it will kind of match the overall kind of aesthetic of the field that we're putting in there. So it'll be a much different material than it was when we originally put it in.
I think it was during one of our community meetings for the bond measure, we actually had high school students complaining that the track at Monterey High was dangerous, that there were shin splints and they were afraid to get up to speed because there were potholes and stuff like that. So this replacement aligns with student experience as well, I would say. Remember something about that? Yeah. Other questions or comments from board members on this one? Okay, then I'll open it up for public comment. Would anyone like to make a public comment on this item? Either in person or via Zoom? If you're on Zoom, just go ahead and use your raise hand under the react button. Okay, seeing no requests for public comment on this item, I'll bring it back to the board for further discussion or a motion.
I'll move motion. I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from trustee Miramontes and a second from trustee Ofstedal. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Item 7B, discuss and approve a 3-year contract renewal with EduPoint for Synergy Student Information System, cost not to exceed $728,098.
This is for a 3-year renewal for Synergy, which is the student information system that we use for the district. This is where all the student information's housed. This is where the grading happens. Essentially, the heart and soul for all of the things that we do with attendance, scheduling, student records, and those sorts of things. This is a 3-year contract, so the total cost over the 3 years is $728,000. This is an increase from the prior 3 years that we had from the previous contract. That was around $600,000, so this is about a 19% increase over the course of that 3 years. Everything's gone up, and not unexpected for the cost to increase, but it is an increase over the prior 3-year term.
Thank you, Mr. Altmeyer. Questions or comments on this one from board members? Yep, trustee Uchida, go ahead.
Thank you, President. Do we have feedback from the staff and teachers because I know, being in the schools before, that we've had systems and sometimes they were problematic, but have we had a good report using this company?
Yes, I would say overall, the feedback's been good. I think in the initial implementation, like most systems when you're implementing them, there's a lot of hiccups and things that we had to kind of figure out. If you can recall, we actually had a truncated and a shortened implementation period for Synergy initially because our previous student information system, which was Illuminate, they kind of told us, hey, you have about less than a year and we're shutting down the student information system. So we had to kind of make a rushed process to pick one, make the transition. So I would say that wasn't ideal, so there was a little bit more hiccups in the beginning, but I think we've worked out most of those issues, and for the most part, they understand how it works and they're happy with it. I don't think there's any perfect system, but for what we use it for, I think it's serving us well.
This also is our attendance, whatever?
Yes, teachers take attendance, it does the reporting, we use it to make sure that we're following the process. It compiles reports for us that we use for state reporting.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this one? Okay, I'll open it up for public comment. If anyone would like to make a public comment on this item, either in person or via Zoom, go ahead and come up to the podium or raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for discussion or a motion.
I'll move approval.
I'll second. Mimi will second.
I have a motion from Vice President Jennings and a second from Trustee Velazquez. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item 7C, discuss and accept the Monterey County Regional Work-Based Learning and Post-Secondary Pathways K-12 Strong Workforce Program Grant Award from the California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office in partnership with the California Department of Education in the amount of $212,053.
Ms. McIntosh couldn't be here this evening, so she asked me to take this item for her. But this is a grant that we receive each year as part of our overall CTE strategy. And so this award amount is for $212,000. And like I said, this is one piece of a larger puzzle of our overall CTE pathways and programs that we offer at MPUSD.
Thank you, Mr. Altmeyer. And just to clarify, on the item in the agenda, it says the Mission Trails JPA grant is $1,681, and it's actually like $1 million
Yes.
and change.
Yes, that's the overall for the JPA,
Yes.
and our portion is
And our
for
portion is
212.
212.
Yes.
Any questions or comments on this one? Okay, I'll open the floor for public comment. If anyone would like to make a public comment on this one? I don't see any hands on Zoom and no one at the podium, so I will take us back to the board for a motion.
Madam President, I move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Dr. Lusk and a second from Trustee Ofstedal. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Moving forward to 7D, discuss and approve service agreements with CompuHealth Medical Staffing to provide staffing services to special education students for 2025-2026. Cost not to exceed $331,183.75.
I'll turn this item and the next over to Ms. Rivera.
Thank you. Good evening, Board. So this is just another contract for us regarding services provided to our students. We still have some vacancies that we're looking to fill for service providers, and so this is a speech and language pathologist and an occupational therapist for the 25-26 school year.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this one? Okay, I'll open it up for public comment. If anyone has any questions about item 7D. Okay, seeing it back to none, I will bring it back. Oh, I do see a hand on Zoom. DSA USA.
Thank you, Carla Lobo. Question, do we not have a speech pathologist on staff? Like, how many do we have in, it seems like we constantly are replacing these in special education, and I ask because I have a child that's going to, maybe, depending if I decide to bring him to MPUSD, because I haven't gotten a call back from the director where I left a voice message over 2.5 weeks ago with regards to questions of the special ed department. But how many do we have on staff when it comes to specialties like OT, ABA, speech, and anything in between? I yield the rest of my time.
Yes, so offhand, we have around 26 actual speech and language pathologists across the district, give or take one or two. I don't have the full list in front of me. We have a mix of staff members who complete this field between contracted staff as well as district staff. You are correct. We continue to recruit and do our best to retain our certificated staff members in this field area. It's a challenge throughout special education across the nation in securing and retaining staff. A lot of our staff sometimes leave to go elsewhere. They are travelers by definition through their contract and go on to Alaska and Texas and lots of other places. Some stay with us through district contract or district employment or in the area. So you're correct, there are some changes. We are really trying to secure and maintain consistent staff. It's just where we are right now. And when we have a vacancy, I need to fill it so that our students are receiving service. And I apologize, but I will follow up with our office to see about a phone call so we can get back to you regarding your child.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera. Appreciate that. Any other public comments or questions on this item from folks in person or on Zoom? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Trustee Velasquez and a second from Dr. Lusk. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item 7E, discuss and approve service agreements with Leftridge Transportation to provide transportation services to special education students for the 2025-2026 school year. Cost not to exceed $352,353.14.
Correct, thank you. So another item that we have for today, this is a renewal contract from last year. We have 2 students who are attending non-public schools that are outside of our area that need transportation, and so they get door-to-door for a variety of reasons conditioned to their IEP.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera. Any questions on this one? Dr. Lusk.
Thank you, President Whitmire. I'd like to just request a review of the protocols that we follow as we're transporting our students. This was a question that occurred in a conference that I attended last week, and I just want to review MPUSD's protocols as it relates to transporting our special needs students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lusk. Other questions on this one? I had a quick question. I noticed on one of the contracts, we're transporting a student from Gilroy to a school, a non-public school outside our district, and I just wondered what the circumstances were that we're transporting a student from Gilroy.
Yeah, very unique circumstances. So this is an adult student. So in special education, we serve, students are eligible for services until they earn a high school diploma or reach the age of 22. So this is an adult conserved student. I believe this is his last year with us too. I think he's aging out at the end of this year. But he is living in a group home through regional center placement, not by us, but his guardian, his legal guardian conservator lives in the boundaries of Monterey, and she always has. And so we were aware of this student last year, and they are the responsibility of the district, so we must transport them to their location of service.
Thank you, very helpful. I am always learning things in this role.
It was a learning case for us as well. So, yeah.
Any other questions or comments on this one? Okay, I'll open the floor for public comment. Members of the public in person or via Zoom have any questions on this one? Go ahead and raise your hand or come on up. Don't see any hands on Zoom. So I will close public comment and bring it back to the board for discussion or a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Vice President Jennings and a second from Dr. Lusk, who I heard because she's closest to me, maybe. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. On our final item from Section 7, 7F, discuss and approve Resolution Number 25/26-01, local assignment options.
Turn this over to Dr. Nunez.
Thank you. Good evening, Board. Interim Superintendent Mr. Altemeyer. So in an effort to help our special ed department with recruitment, this resolution will allow us to recruit SLPs that have a master's degree and hold a license while they work on obtaining the credential through the CTC. And we do have a candidate in line with this requirement, so the education allows us, with board approval, to bring on that person to provide services while they're a district employee and not contract out, and continue to use this strategy to attract more SLPs and allow them to work on their credential while they're with us, and hopefully stay with us.
Thank you, Dr. Nunez. Questions? Trustee Afzal.
I'm very excited about this because I know a lot of SLPs, and that's the question I always get, is if we can support this type of person working on their licensing and credentialing. So yay, thank you.
Yeah, we try to find the loopholes as much as we can, and so this came across, and so the ed code allows it, so we're happy to bring it forward.
Yeah, loopholes is not my favorite word.
And I get it.
Pipeline, we're looking for
within
pipelines.
the law and the pipeline.
It is a legitimate credentialing process.
Yes, yes, I believe it, I believe it. Other questions or comments on this one? Okay, I'll open it up for public comment then. Go ahead and raise your hand if you're on Zoom, or come on up. Okay, seeing none, it's back to the board for a motion.
I move approval.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion from Trustee Afzal, a second from Dr. Lusk. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Dr. Nunez.
Thank you.
And Ms. Rivera. We'll move now to the consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and are acted upon by the Board of Education in one motion. There's no discussion of these items before the board vote unless a member of the board, staff, or public requests specific items be discussed and/or removed from the consent agenda. It's understood that the administration recommends approval on all consent items. Each item on the consent agenda approved by members of the governing board shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted as recommended. So first, members of the board, are there any items you'd like to poll for individual consideration or discussion? Okay, seeing none. Members of the public, are there any items on our consent agenda that you would like us to poll for individual consideration or discussion? Please, come forward.
Hi. excuse me. My name is Peter Jordan. I'm struggling with the mic here. There we go. I'm an assistant cross-country and track coach at Monterey High School. The track, by the way, up until spring was sad and miserable, and now it's beautiful and awesome. I was there this afternoon running with kids, and it was nicely done. Anyway, I'm here because of the item O, I believe it is, ratification and renewal of booster clubs. I'm applying for ratification for a new booster club this year, and my understanding is if you approve that, we enter into sort of a partnership, and so I'm here to tell you about this really cool thing we're going to be doing together. You're probably aware that Monterey has a sister city in Japan called Nanao, and we have had that sister city relationship for, this is actually the 30th anniversary this year, so you'll be hearing more about that in the news around Jazz Festival time, because most sister city activities revolve around the Monterey Jazz Festival. What we're looking to do is something a little bit different, though. By the way, Nanao also was the victim of a devastating earthquake about a year and a half ago. The community, the schools are still recovering from that. And so our project, in the spirit of friendship and healing, is to invite a group of runners, a cross-country team, if you will, even though they don't exactly have cross-country in Japan. But we would invite them to come and stay with us in our homes and practice with us after school, and hopefully participate in a structured activity related to cross-country running, like a scrimmage or something like that. And then that would last a week or so here in Monterey, and then we would follow them back to Japan a little bit later in the school year and have a similar experience over there. This would be for a team of 7 boys and 7 girls, both from Monterey and from our sister high school in Japan. I've already been in discussion with an administrator at Nanao High School, and so we're working together on preliminary itinerary and schedule, and things are looking good. So I sincerely hope you have some questions about this, and in a forum where I have more time, I'd love to sit down with you, buy you a cup of coffee, and answer any questions you might have about this. But I'm really excited about the project, and I think it's going to be great.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jordan. It's very exciting. Trustee Uchida, go ahead.
I have a unique, well, both of my kids were in the exchange program while they were at Colton. And I was fortunate enough also to be a chaperone way back. I was a vice principal at Colton. And I also was a track coach at Monterey High. So, but we had cinder block track. So
I remember
what you're
those
running
days.
on now is extremely nice. But I'm sure I'd like to, we talk some more.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of, my Japanese group that I'm a part of, we're, in fact, I think we're going to host an event, something, the 30th anniversary is coming up, and they're doing some kind of event.
The weekend of September 28th.
Yeah, so
I believe.
I'll give you my card, and we'll talk some more.
Great. And you're
I'm
referring,
very much supportive. I got to visit the high school. There's maybe a couple of high schools in there now.
there are 5, not unlike our peninsula
Yeah.
area here.
Yeah. So, but I think it's, both of my son and daughter, they talk about it all the time, and it's a life-changing, life-remembering event, and it develops that great perspective of being a citizen of the world and being able to see other cultures and how they do things, so.
I agree wholeheartedly. You're referring to the Junior Wings program?
Yes.
Is that what your kids did?
Yeah.
And they are a part of the Sister City Friendship Association that actually hosts the delegates that will be coming from Japan in September.
Yeah, I am totally supportive of whatever we can do.
Great, thank you. I see you, as a group, you're giving $25,000 to a group going to dance camp in Merced on the same consent agenda tonight, so I'll put you down for 25 at least.
You could put me down for whatever, but whether it goes through or not might be another thing. But there are many ways, so, you have a community that's very supportive. And also an established group of people from the Friendship Association. And, I'm not aware of the, I don't think we do an exchange program anymore. There was talk about it.
Yeah, I think the junior wings will be happening again shortly, but our project is a little different in that I intend to raise all of the funds for both sides, so that this is not a matter of parents writing checks for the ticket. This is kids applying for the privilege of being part of the project and qualifying based on commitment to cross-country, for example, and personal character and academic achievement.
You might have said this and I missed it. When do you anticipate this going on?
Great question, thank you. So the actual exchange would happen at the beginning of the 26-27 school year. So the Japanese kids are on summer vacation until near the end of August, so they would come sometime between our start and their start, say the third week in August, and then we would go to Japan during the October break.
Thank you.
Thanks for the questions, and I'll leave my contact information for you.
Good. Leave it with Janet.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Appreciate you being here to speak to that. So I don't think we need to pull this, but good to have conversation. Any trustee Afsarov?
I don't know if this is the right time to ask this, but his question about funding brought up a question that kind of came up this week that I also have is some of the consent agenda items, such as the cheerleading camp, that money is sometimes fundraised, but it's reflected in these items. Is that correct?
Yes, so if typically as a group that's sponsored, the one way is to accomplish supporting the students is a booster, or there will be donations that are raised, and then that money is given to the school site for them to coordinate an activity like cheer camp or other things.
Good question. Dr. Lesk?
And this question actually is for our acting superintendent. I know that our booster clubs, have always, not always, but have had a great deal of questions when we've gone through audits and what have you. And so just want to make sure that from a district perspective, that the protocols for booster clubs is very clear and communicated to our new leadership. I know we have new leadership at one of our high schools, two high schools, Marina High as well as not the principal. I'm speaking specifically of Seaside High School with a new leader, and the student body group and all that other organizations or athletic teams might be expecting to implement. Again, just wanted to be sure that the protocols for booster clubs is clearly outlined for all, and that we, as a board, really get an opportunity to review those, because I think that was an issue years ago, but I'm sure it's not the same now. So asking that we perhaps provide those in a confidential letter to us as board members, so that our newer board members will have a sense of what protocols we are required to follow as it relates to booster clubs, because they are very specific. Okay? So I'm just sharing that as something that we need to follow up and make sure we are all knowledgeable of. And Mr. Kumagai, Tad Kumagai, just clarifying question, most of you might not recognize that name. Was he the person in charge of the sister visits, the sister city visits years ago when he was director of personnel?
No.
Are you aware?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I know he sponsored some visits with sister cities and high school programs.
As the director of personnel?
No, as a leader in the community related to the Japanese program. So just,
He was part of our
He was part of it.
JACL group.
got it. That's what I wanted to clarify with you. Probably could have asked that offline, but wanted
Yeah,
to.
we're getting a little off track here.
Yes,
I want to
yeah.
circle us back.
Can I,
Yeah,
Madam President?
Just as long as it has to do with this consent agenda.
yeah, and this is an
Absolutely.
item on the
Okay. No,
consent agenda.
yeah,
Okay,
no.
thank you.
Just to assure Dr. Lust, Marina High School's Booster Club and Mr. Altemeyer, so I
Are in line, okay.
am very confident that he'll make sure, but to make sure to get to these people directly so they have that knowledge. But
Absolutely,
there are many guidelines that Mr. Altemeyer's put forth,
good.
and I know Marina High School's Booster Club is fully compliant with everything, so.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
good to hear. Just want to make
But
sure
it
that's
was
the
through
case.
Mr.
for all.
Altemeyer's,
Thank you.
leadership there, so.
Glad to hear that.
good
But
point.
I wanted to make sure that is the case for
Yeah.
all, because it has not been always in the past,
No.
especially with football boosters and this, that, and the other. So just want to make sure we are following protocols that have been established by our district. Thank you.
Sorry. Members of the public, any other items you'd like to pull for individual discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for a motion.
I'd like to make the motion to accept the consent agenda.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion from trustee Uchida and a second from trustee Miramontes. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We will move forward now to Section 9 of our agenda, communication from board members. Board communications is an opportunity for board members to share with the public events, activities, and other communications they deem relevant to the public. It's understood that items raised during board communications section are not on the adopted agenda, and therefore no further discussion will occur on any item shared by board members. So I will start with trustee Velasquez and come around the horn this way. Do you have any board communications?
Yes, so I attended Cab C with Dr. Lusk last week in Napa.
Can you tell us what that is, CAPC?
Oh,
Just
yes.
members of the public.
So California Association of Black School Educators. It was a very fun, very informative event. I got to meet and take a class from Colin Kaepernick regarding, and I did send a picture to Marcy, I did get a picture with him. And I also got to nerd out with him for like 10 minutes on just like a random subject, so that was kind of cool. But he introduced his new AI platform, Lumi, which is actually tailored for school districts. And so I'm awaiting information from his rep on that. Basically, I think it kind of answers the question we had about the AI and like developing policy, making sure that it's a living document, because of course it's not something it's gonna continue to evolve. But it addresses that, it addresses transparency, also monitoring by teachers. Basically, a teacher can monitor from the first time a student signs in to the end of the school year, and it also analyzes their work. So one of the examples he gave in the class was that there was a student that wrote a story, and I believe it was about a magic fork. The AI analyzed it and basically let the teacher know that it thought that the student was writing about a relative that it may have recently lost or that might be sick. It was a student that had been acting out in class. The teacher was able to then ask questions and then found out that the student's mother had passed away a year prior, and so that's why he had suddenly begun acting out in class. So it helps with that. I also took classes on counseling engagement and college readiness, where I talked about events, reports, living spreadsheets on scholarships, where students are contacted anytime there's a new scholarship, but quarterly in regards to scholarships, and there are assemblies planned for both seniors and juniors, I think 3 to 4 times a year, so I'm waiting for information on that. And then also policy addressing racial slurs and different protocols that basically could possibly help us in regards to our situation centering around the N-word. So I'll be getting information on that, but yeah, it was
a really, really great event, and I can say that Colin Kaepernick is as good a bowler as he is a football player.
Wait, he is?
He is,
Oh.
yeah. We got to go bowling with him, too.
Wonderful.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Trustee Velasquez. Anything, Trustee Offsetall? Okay, Dr. Lusk?
Thank you, Madam President. I'll just continue with this specific area that was shared during the during our conference, the California Association of Black School Educators, Math That Transforms Futures. And so I brought some information back for our Associate Superintendent. I'm going to pass that on to you, Mr. Aldemeyer, to give to our Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Leadership. It's a kindergarten through 8th grade math program that was really highly recognized. There was a professor from the San Diego State University as a part of a panel that made this presentation. It seems to have really addressed the needs of our minority students, specifically African American students and our Hispanic students. And so that's something that I think we need to really focus on. This is the math adoption year that's coming up. Curriculum will be released in January. A list of the curriculum will be released in January. And so this is a program that I think might be impactful as for our minority students. So just want to pass that on. And you all got highlighters from and what have you from that program. So it was a great conference with lots of great information that relates to curriculum to address the needs of our underperforming students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lusk. I don't have anything to report. Nope. Trustee Uchida?
Thank you, Madam President. A couple announcements. First one, my membership in the Marina PAL, Police Activities League. We are co-sponsoring a youth football camp. Terry Poole, who is a former student at Seaside High School, went on and played a little bit in the NFL. He is our person. It's going to be a free clinic on Friday, August 1st. 2 age groups. The first age group, and it's co-ed, is 5 to 11-year-olds from 9 a.m. To 11, and older students from 12 to 18 years from 12 to 2. And that is going to be at Lower Los Arbos. So questions, you can look up the Marina PAL website, and I believe it's on there. And that's going to be the first time we're doing it, so hopefully we have a large group of kids. Terry Poole is a success story from MPUSD, so anything we can do to support him would be really cool. And my second thing is my Japanese group that I'm a part of. We are hosting with the City of Monterey. It's called Monterey Abalone Fest. Part of it has, no, sorry, Tom, it's not about eating abalone, but it's part of it's just about history, but it's also there's a species called it's the white abalone, and the gentleman that discovered it is a local family and a personal friend of mine, and very well respected family in Monterey. And so we will be hosting that this Saturday and Sunday, so the 26th and 27th, from 10 to 4, and it's a free event. So if anybody, there are a lot of things there. I think there are going to be abalone races. And if anybody's ever seen an abalone race, the word race is not really a good word to use because they don't move very fast. But we are promoting that. We also have, there's going to be a bunch of events. So you can look up our website, JACL, the Monterey Peninsula, if you have other questions. But it's going to be a fun day. There are going to be events at our hall, which is on 424 Adams Street in Monterey, across from Jack's Ballpark. And there are a couple events. I believe there's a Ohlone Native American group that are going to be doing a dance on the beach. So we are walking from the hall to the beach, as well as, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's Ohlone person, is a member, who's going to talk about the abalone and jewelry. So we all see how pretty the abalone shells are, so there'll be some demonstrations of that. So hopefully, this will be well attended this Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.
Cool, sounds awesome. Jeff? Sorry, I'm just looking at the flyer online. Trustee Miramontes?
Yes, thank you. Definitely have FOMO for missing out on CABSB event. Sounds really great and exciting. I know Dr. Gary Hardy was also there present and introduced Mr. Kaepernick, so that's really cool to see the connections and things happening there. For the California Latino School Board Association, we do have our upcoming Unity Conference in September. We're really going to focus on a bunch of different variety topics, but also talking about the immigration and things that are happening now for our families and community. There is going to be an event this Wednesday in San Jose. It's free for all administrative staff, school board members to go. I'll make sure to send that out to be sent to you guys to see as well. But it's really going to be focusing on English Learner Success Forum and have a conversation over dinner for that. Also wanted to share some great packets that has been going around throughout the county. Also partnering with the Santa Cruz County and the County Office of Education in Santa Cruz, but there's some child safety plans. I'm pretty sure the district has, or access to these, but making sure we have them at our back to school bash. So I have like the newest updated version, and then along with an older version here, but it is definitely a local government partnership with community-based organizations such as BHC, the Watsonville Law Center, and a lot of other great orgs. So just wanted to share that. And then also being on CLSBA, we got this really cool emotional workbook for youth and students, talking about just fear with everything going on with immigration. So it's really cool because they can talk about what they're hearing in the news, how is it making them feel, how to express their emotions, and even some coloring activities. So also hoping I can also send this to their individual to have these printed, hopefully for the back to school bash, or at least a QR code so folks can download and have it as well. But it's a really cool handbook, so I'm happy to pass this around if folks want to take a closer look at it. But those were just my announcements for today.
Thank you, Trustee Miramontes. We will move on now to board requests. 10A, board requests are an opportunity for board members to request future items to be added to the agenda by the agenda setting committee, or to request information to be provided by the superintendent or designee to the board at a future date and time. It is understood that items raised during board request section are not on the adopted agenda, and therefore no discussion will occur on any item requested by board members. And I'll just open the floor. Are there any board requests? Trustee Uchida.
Thank you, Madam President. Something that's been on my radar for a while, and I've seen it at numerous sites, is that I think the district needs to develop policy to ensure that when we are, especially now that we're doing a lot of modernization, that we really delve into, when we either take things down or remove things, that we are very cognizant of the historical value. I know a couple things at Seaside High School that were student bought, that were taken down. There needs to be, conversations about that. I've had personal contact with people asking about some banners at the high school that have not been replaced or put back up. And just that we are very aware when we do these nice things that we respect the historical value of things that we do. I know the intent is good, and but just to make sure that we are respectful of things, especially things that are purchased from student body funds or raised by students for certain things that either that we're made aware of it. And so before we just go and tear anything down, that we double check. So that's my request.
So,
I would support that.
okay, great. So clarification, just that you want to develop board policy around this.
Something,
or guidelines?
Guidelines
or-
would be, we don't need to get to the policy level, but just
Okay.
guidelines
Okay,
to how we do things.
okay. Looks like we have,
And, Madam President, I really want to just echo my support of that, because you're right, there are some, Seaside High School in particular has lost some historical information, images, what have you, that is an area, has created an area of concern. And so I would like to see, are you asking, clarify please, are you asking that this be agendized so that we can discuss policies? I just want to be clear on what you're asking we do as a board to ensure that from a district perspective, that historical images and what have you be
Right.
maintained, or is there a process in place for us to discuss them? Clarify what you're asking, please.
I don't necessarily need to agendize it, but if it's going to be something that we can make sure it's a point of, that we, as the process goes on any modernization or improve or whatever, that we are keenly aware of the possibility. I don't know, maybe it needs to be agendized so it could be fully discussed and put into place.
I would like to see us agendize it so that we could really have a discussion as a board as to the steps that need to be taken, so that we can be a part of that or be
Sure.
updated on an ongoing basis. So, yes, I would like to see us
support that also,
agendize
yes,
it,
yeah.
so from
this subject has come up in the course of past
has.
modernizations at other campuses. So what I think I might recommend is that the superintendent and the cabinet maybe work together to develop some guidance, and then we can agendize a discussion around what they recommend. And then at that point, we can decide, is the
How-
guidance good enough, or do we want to make policy and sort of take it from there?
Excellent point, excellent point.
Okay.
Those are the steps, I would support that.
Okay. Do you have what you need?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Other board requests?
Madam President, I would like to just kind of follow up with the conversation related to boosters. I really love the fact that we have boosters working very hard to support our programs, our activities, and what have you. I fully support that 100%. However, I do know that in the past, and I'll speak specifically of Seaside High School, there have been questions raised about, funds raised and this, that, and the other. And I want to see us have guidelines in place that will allow all boosters to understand fully, booster participants and leaders to fully understand how those operate, what we can and can't do, so that when other requests come forth for boosters to be established, and I do know that's coming from Seaside High School, that they will follow those guidelines specifically. So I don't know whether I'm asking for us to have staff review that and bring that back as an informational item or what have you. I'm okay with either way, but I just want us all to be fully aware of the steps that should be followed as far as boosters are concerned. So,
Yeah, so I think what I can do is I can send the information to the board. We have a comprehensive handbook and guidebook for boosters and how they become established, checklist for documentation that's required. We do an annual training with the boosters as well that we schedule at the start of the school year. So we do have a comprehensive process for approving boosters, and I am happy to share that with the board.
thank you. I'm good with that at this point. We can then go from there.
Great, yeah, we'll start with
That's
that,
review,
and
yeah.
then if you have more questions, maybe it's something we can agendize.
I'm really good with that.
Okay, perfect. Any other potential board requests? Okay, seeing none, we will look ahead to future meetings, and I'm assuming it's 2 weeks from tonight, but let me pull it up. Let's see, our next meeting is August 12th, and then Trustee Uchida, it's the meeting after that that is at Monterey High School. So our next meeting is here at this location on August 12th. Yes. Wonderful. And that will be after the start of the school year. If you can believe it. Our final item on the agenda this evening is adjournment. Item 12A, adjourn the meeting.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from trustee Vice President Jennings and a second from trustee Velazquez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I just want to acknowledge that we close this meeting in memory of one of our local doctors. Sorry. That we close this meeting in memory of one of our local doctors, Dr. Michelle Horn, from the city of Monterey, African-American physician who passed away this past Monday, very suddenly, and I'd like to see us close this meeting in her memory. Thank you.
I'd like to second that.
Thank you, Dr. Lusk. So I think what I heard was 7 ayes, but I'll just ask for opposed or abstentions. No? So in honor of Dr. Michelle Horn, we will adjourn the meeting.